Hi, everyone. Hello, welcome to this beautiful room. How is everyone doing? Let me know where you're joining from. Hello, welcome to this beautiful room. Hi, Carol from Florida. Lovely. Hi, Elizabeth. Hi, Nadia. Namaste from Trinidad. It's great to see some known faces. Lovely to connect back again. How is your day so far? Hope you're having a good day. Thank you so much, Nadia. Loved your session so much I had to join. Thank you for being here. Hey, Helen. Welcome back. Hello from Northern Carolina, California. So good to see some of you. And who is new there? Welcome. How is the how is the weather in your heart? You feeling good, emotional, tired? How is it? Hi, Ruthie from Kentucky. And you're in Seattle. That's right. I'm from India, lived for 2 decades in Ireland, and then moved to Seattle. Hi, Jay from New York. Hi, Nadia. I'm really good day. I'm grateful. Yay! I love that. When someone says you're so grateful, no matter what's happening, that's the best way. I mean, like, can't ignore what else would be happening, but still, like, the positive aspect. We always put it on. So great. Thank you so much for being here. So today's conversation is about how to heal our negative thoughts and also just not only to recognize them, but also knowing the tricks, how we can overcome them and how we can shift some of the simple techniques that I have been following. I wouldn't say that there won't be any negative thoughts. They would be there. They will be coming on and off. But how do we shift in? For who are new to me, I am Srimanju from Seattle. I'm a Akashic Records reader, teach them, and Reiki master, and into meditations and mindfulness. And I have written a book, Connect Your Inner Guide. So some of aspects from the book is what I'm going to share today. And this book I wrote from my own personal journey, some tricks that has helped me over the time. I only talk generally with the things that I worked and they have been good too, or like a simple and easy shortcuts, and they have been game changers. Those are the things I usually talk about or bring forward, even in my workshops or one-to-one clients as well. Things didn't work, and sometimes I do try after a few years of a gap, or I might be reading a book and something else will click in. So have that um, open mind, see what you resonate with it. Something that doesn't resonate with you, maybe just park it, and some other time it might just click in. It's not that everything has to resonate or has to shift for you right today, but let those emotions that are going to come out of it, the session, watch them, don't ignore them, is what I can say. If you have a journal, please do write things down that are coming up, like, because this doesn't have the record option on Insighttimer, but I'm also recording it on YouTube. So you can head over to my YouTube channel, which is Srimanju Katragadda, and you can check later as well. So welcome once again. Do drop in a hello or let me know where you're from before we begin. So I'll be checking on the messages as well. I'll be pausing in between. I'll check with you guys how you're doing. Are you resonating or not? So it will be a two-way conversations, which will be interesting because I generally do the guided meditations, a talk and a guided meditations. So this is a slightly different one. All right, okay, so we have good number in the room, so we can start today. Um, for me, the Insight Timer is a bit crazy last 2 days. I don't know if you guys are having the difficulties. There is a little lag time there. So do tell me, do you guys feel stuck by the negative emotions, negative thoughts, or with the chitter chatter that we have in our mind? Do you feel like there are mostly negative ones, like, um, it's okay to accept because that is how I used to see my life. That typical example in the mindfulness that we hear is your glass half full or half empty? I did say that before as well. I used to always complain about why is the glass half not full for me, like, rather than even acknowledging I got something, rather than not be, like, I didn't see that way at all, like in the initial days. And then I started shifting, changing with all the books, with all the teachers that I came across, and seeing the better side of it. But first thing is to acknowledge that we do have it, and that is a tendency of our brain, of our mind, to go into the negative things because we are always in the fighting side of it. What is the worst case scenario that's going to happen, or how worst can we imagine in our mind is where it goes in, rather than what if some things are going to be turning out or blossoming exactly what our dreams are, like, that rarely happens unless we have trained ourselves and we have shifted ourselves. But otherwise, generally it is that. And now, when we were kids, we were so positive, we were so optimistic. But around 7 to 9 years old, that ages we shifted, like, because we were seeing our parents, we were noticing our society, the teachers, how they were, like, how they were having so much worries in their mind, and how their negative thoughts were there. And we adapted unknowingly. That is how we should be as well, rather than being optimistic or positive as well. Yeah. So this is where the changes are. And when I read about that in Deepak Chopra's book, long time ago, I don't even remember which book was it, like, 7 years of age, we all change, or generally we do change around that time. I did notice closely with my own children, like around 7 years of ages, they started changing, and I said, oh my god, this is amazing, like they are actually changing, because they were observing how the outer side was reacting to them. And now, like, implementing all these little tools and techniques, I could bring them back. But again, like, I do see them, notice them, how me or them even, like, um, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, or saying, like, I'm going through a rage or a anger or a fear. These are the natural things do come in, and we feel that comfort of somewhere. Sometimes it's about the self-pity as well. Growing up, I have noticed that with family members, some people were so much absorbed into their self-pity. It was giving them the comfort. Now it's not wrong, but it is how their situations have been, and that made them consume into that like a cloud, and they couldn't see any other things around them, like, and to be saying that I was under the chronic illness, and there was a depression phase I went through as well, and nothing was exciting for me, even though if I take that cloud, there is so much beauty, but I couldn't see that, like, I couldn't move an inch of my muscle to see that. But the game changer was when I started doing the gratitude things. repeating that mantra of what am I grateful for every morning and the night. That was the biggest game changer for me. But for some people, it could be something else, like, it could be a meditation, it could be an awakening, or a friend talking them through, like, but those are the moments, that's the most important thing, that we all need, like a wake up call, as if like someone has to come back and push us into the reality. And then we realize, this is what it is about. This is where I can take my cloud and see through clearly. That clarity, when it comes in, we feel so good. And that is the baby steps that we'll be putting in, steps forward. Yeah. There was this also Mindfulness Ireland. They did a short video about the mental health, and in that video, they showed like we usually tend to have our thoughts. Mostly, they would be negative and self-destructing ones. And if anyone can take that leap of faith within the 19th second and change into a positive thought, then again a positive spin goes through. If not, we get consumed after the 19th second to more deeper or a slope down slope one. Like, do notice, like, emotion, a phone conversation, or a text message can trigger us going into the downward so quickly. Like, recently, 2 weeks ago, I was celebrating my birthday with my family at a pottery place. We were having a great time, and then all of a sudden, I got a text message which wasn't pleasant, and that's it. For next 2 hours, I was on the downward slope. And then I was chanting to myself inside, "No, let me come back, let me come back," with all that effort. After like around 2 hours, I shifted my energies back, and I was back to myself, like, bringing back my energies to where I need to belong in present moments, like, so those things do happen. Like a simple thing can turn us off, let us go into somewhere that it's like a rabbit hole. We go deep, and before it's too down, need to have some tricks, or the toolkit is what I say, to come back. Yeah. Do you resonate with that? Hi, Jack from Australia. First time here. Welcome here. Hi, Siobhan. This topic came at perfect timing. Today was really hard. Glad you found your way here. I'm so happy you're back here. Hey, Liz. You do resonate. Hi, Irma from California. Lovely. So that's the most important thing, how we recognize our thoughts. First thing that I found is where are these negative thoughts coming from? One is from the parents, from the limiting beliefs, the societies, the schools, and the people that we are surrounded by. If we were surrounded by a positive people, we do feel more inspired. And I'm sure you guys do agree here. I'm always dipping in and out of some conversations from great lectures here on Insighttimer. And that gives me a lot more things to absorb and soak in like a sponge. And this helps us to look forward, some things to make it easy in our lives, right? And that is the beauty about finding our resources that are most available to us now. With the whole pandemic, we missed meeting our friends, dear ones, who could lift our spirits. But thanks to the technology, there is so much source out that we can always dip in, like from YouTube to different options, like, even on social media, if you rightly have the hashtags, you are always being inspired there. Like, yeah, it's just that perspective is needed of where we are gathering our energies. There could be some trigger event like a social media. When it initially started, everyone was having a downfall of things because there could be a group of party happening and you weren't invited for the party, and you would feel that FOMO effect, and you would be going through the rabbit hole again. Why was I not invited? What's happening? Do they not like me? And all these thoughts were coming in. Maybe at the end, actually, that person even has invited. Maybe you didn't check your spam emails, like, so it missed. And but in meantime, We were doing our own role play, that happened to me many times. Yeah. Anytime I get a call from the school when the kids were younger, I used to have this whole story in my head. What if they had a fall? Oh my God, are they sick? Like, are they having a temperature? How do I take my leave from my workplace? What do I tell them? How far can I go? How quick can I go? All this. And when I would call them back, they would say, hey, I just wanted to let you know we received your payment. And here you go. I had, for a whole minute, a story that never even existed, but that was causing me so much of anxiety. And that was the usual thing, if other things would be like, if my husband doesn't come home on the usual time, then I'll have a story in my head, like what could have gone wrong. But rather than calming myself, maybe he's just meeting some friend or he got an extra work. But that used to not be the normal. It used to be always the uh, worst scenarios or the stories that would be going on in life. Yeah. So do you recognize that? Do you have those stories in your head, the worst scenarios that could go wrong? But this is it, we have done our best of those stories, and now we are coming back to shift ourselves, how we can change it. That's the most important thing. Yeah, now whatever you're going to take from this talk, they're only going to make it go upwards rather than down, because we have been so good in doing the downwards. We have been the master in it, and there is nothing more we can do about it, right? So anything here is to pull ourselves backwards into the higher altitudes. Yeah, exactly, Nadia. Overthinking. Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's how we do it. We love it. It's that soothing things, that we feel comfortable, that we feel that we are doing it normal, And also, do you guys realize that, in a group of 50 people or even a group of 10 people, one thinker is positive, it shifts the whole aura around the space. But if that person is negative, their energy is so drained, we all get sucked, usually happens when we go to the shopping centers. Not everyone is cheerful, especially with the Christmas times. I used to notice, no, I'm getting drained, there is so much stress, because Christmas comes the whole agenda of being perfect, pleasing everyone, getting the right gifts, cooking the right meals, so overwhelming. People actually do forget the joy of celebration. Again, Christmas is a big festival, most side of this world. That's why I'm taking it, but it can be any other festival as well that you would notice that. And that is where, again, change where you are heading out, to whom you're mingling. So that will help again for us to create atmosphere where we are charging up ourselves. Yeah. And first thing is, again, not to deny any of these emotions. I have some notes here, so I'm just referring back, am I covering everything, giving you the best here? So accepting all the emotions, that's the most important thing. Without accepting them, we can't work on them. It's like you have a fall, you have a injury. First thing is, you need to cleanse it, apply the band-aid, cream, whatever it is needed. You need to follow that routine to keep your wound from healing, healing faster. For that, you need to acknowledge you have a hurt there, or you had a fall or an injury. So all these emotions are equally important. Now, that will be a cheating if we say, how can someone be positive all the time? I used to imagine that, other than me, everyone is happy. Did you guys feel that? I used to literally think everyone else is having a great life other than me. This is 13, 14 years ago. Until then, that is my set of a thing. It's only me. I just want to finish this dream and go into my other dream. I would be a visionary or an imaginary person where I would create, oh, this is the world that I want to be in, and everything, not accepting what's here. But then, as I connected to the people through my work, I started noticing everyone is having a story. Everyone is having a challenges. Everyone's journey is very similar. Slightly the stories are different, but it's what it is, and that's where I felt a connection of we are all the beautiful souls and we are all unique and have a beautiful gifts here. And that makes us to be together as a tribe, bring that uniqueness. And then on, I stopped my story is not as deep as someone else's story, even the most painful times when you think your world has collapsed, when you look above, you will see someone else is having the most challenging, yet they have a smile on their face and they are so embracing because there is no other way they can do their life other than embracing it, embracing every part of them. And when actually we can do that, we are accepting ourselves through the mind, body, and spirit totally. And this is where the work of Louise Hay comes in from. I'm a big follower of her work. It's about like how the affirmations change, the mirror work change, loving yourself truly, loving your body, and everything changes as well. And this is where when you accept as you are without expecting to change anything. And when you do that, then you'll recognize what are the beautiful things you have and what are the beautiful things that you can spread around to the other areas as well. I see these negative emotions as recognize them but little potholes, and I just want to spread with the goodness on these potholes. But unless you recognize those potholes, you can't spread the goodness. So do agree, do recognize them, write it down, and talk with yourself or with a good friend as well. Hey, I'm feeling angry about this situation. I really want to change the story I'm telling, or I want to feel better about this. And somebody, a good friend is who don't judge us and caring for us and listening is where they will come back and say, hey, that's okay to feel that way, breathe in, and why don't you see from their other side of the coin perspective, you might get some wisdom out of it. There could be some guidance coming in when we only open up and share that. And I really appreciate those people who have that courage to share their the truth of it because they are doing the work. And when we do the work, we are genuinely happy. We are not people pleaser anymore because you are accepting both the sides of the coin for yourself, even and that's a big shift and a big change as well. So accepting where these what the emotions are and then working towards is the best part rather than ignoring and only trying to bring the positive side of yourself forward here. And also, when you recognize them, ask yourself, where is that coming from? Like if you're feeling sad, which emotion has it triggered? Is it your sibling? Is it your friend who triggered it? And what have they said? Is that their truth or your truth? Someone says you are unworthy. Do you really feel unworthy? Or has that been said because it's a mirror work of that person? Our parents could have said we are not worthy enough for them, but were they loving themselves and they classifying as unworthy? I haven't come across that situation at all. To be frank, all the work that I have done, I haven't come across any person saying my parents love themselves and they consider me as unworthy for them. When you love yourself, you love everything part of you and part of you that created as well that little child. No matter they are adult, they're old enough, they're young enough, you will always love them unconditionally. But when we as a parents haven't recognized our own gifts, we didn't have enough to give for them, and we were feeling unworthy and we were passing it on because we didn't know how to appreciate it. So now looking back onto your relationships, think about where those limiting beliefs were planted in you. That is a deep thought. That is a deep thought. Um, some time to pause and think about it as well. I'll definitely ask you guys to have that part in your journals, write it down. If anyone has said you're not good enough, you're a not nice person, or you are so selfish, you always think about yourself, you don't deserve some things. These are all the things. Even as I'm saying, I can feel my energy going down. Do you feel that from me or from you guys, even And that is how the negative energy plays. It just compresses every part of us. No matter how much we do the healing, chakra work, all that meditation, it's just like, oh, that's it done. But it is about us, how ourselves was like, raise our vibrations because we are worthy. If we are not worthy, we wouldn't be here listening to these conversations and working on our healing journey. That's the most important thing to remember forever. If I'm not worthy enough, I wouldn't have even been making this effort to turn up and try to improve myself or to recognize myself. I would have been in the do-way, in a dark place, not even bothered to do any effort. How do you feel that? Yeah, I just had to shift that. I could feel it. I could feel it. We all were told that, we were all present with those thoughts, and we have to overcome that. And that way we are shifting. And when we change, this is another deeper belief. When we change, we are changing our family dynamics. We are changing our ancestors as well, because they didn't know any better. They haven't had this Insighttimer or any of these positive books at that time to reach and improve themselves. Now that we are doing this work, it is really, really a deep work, and you are shifting by seeing your light. They will get inspired. Even they may not tell you, but somewhere they are getting inspired. Believe in that. Believe in that. Irma, my mother told me I wasn't worthy. My heart goes. Yeah, we are all in this together. I'm healing from my childhood traumas. It's a hard work, but it's so courageous as well, Irma. It's so courageous that you are signed up for it. You're doing this. So you're not carrying that burden, that weight of your past into your present and to the future. Now, we all dream about our futures, the goals, and everything to be so good. But if we didn't change right now, how are we going to have the dream of the future to be amazing or awesome, right? So, this hard work is so important. It's just like, you are going into being a graduate, you need to finish your exams to have a better job, better lifestyle, and everything. So, this is the part, the hardest part. You're doing your assignments, you're doing your homework. And you doing your exams, everything, all that commitment won't go wasted. It's amazing that you got it. And I really, really love people who have put in so much effort in themselves and seeing the brighter side. Like back, I think 15 years ago, when someone said someone goes to a therapy, it was such a stigma. I think in some parts of the world it's still stigma, saying hey, you have so many issues that you're going to a therapy. Oh my god, what kind of a life you have, and but now actually it's a different perception. If someone goes to therapy, bingo, you are changing the world. You are acknowledging who you are and working through that, and changing everyone around you. Think about who have had a therapy, how their family dynamics will change, improve, the vocabulary will change, everything around them will be so shining as well, right? That's the most important thing. Irma, thank you for your sweet words. You're most welcome, Irma. My love for you. And yeah, hurt people, hurt others. Sending healing hugs to you. Ah, just going to check a few more comments. You love Nadia, Louise Haywork. Yes, me too. Hi, Ellie. Follow Shriman. She is amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. 11 o'clock and you're tuned in. That's great. Active gratitude has helped me greatly with overthinking. Yes, Nadia, that is the mantra. That is so good. The mantra to change anything. But again, it's I started that as just to do and see, challenge with my skeptic mind. Does it really work? Does the secret thing, the movie really works? But I committed to it for 30 days and it did. Like, I was so happy. Those proofs really worked, and that's the reason. Still don't stop about it. And I have infused that to my children and in my workshops everywhere. Do you do your gratitude things? Do you do your prayers? Like, as if like we do take our medications. It's part of who we are. That's the most important thing. Yeah. And as you notice, like, even when I was just giving you some examples of that limiting beliefs or the thoughts that we were planted, how our energies have shifted, just compressed in. When that happens with those negative thoughts, that is where we again are putting side effects onto our physical bodies. If someone has a physical body issue, injuries, not able to recover from it, around the solar plexus, which is your belly, digestion issues, or having issues around your periods or menstrual things, throat, or chronic illnesses, long-term things, or cancer even, like, I always ask them, when did it begin in your life, and what was happening around that time of your life? That's the most important things that I started discovering, like, they usually have an impact in our lives. Yeah, if there is a major incident that has happened and we couldn't heal it, it usually sits in our physical body and it becomes like a pain in our body that is screaming for help. Like, it was sitting in the mind, we didn't acknowledge it, now it's absorbed into our body. Let me give you an example. Like in 2017, a family member was in the ICU and literally between the life and death situation. And I was there caring for the person for like, 10 days, not attending to my own children and being committed there. And when I came back, to my home after that whole episode of it, I realized my ankle was in agony, total in pain. Like, I went to physio and I got a lot of healing done, like myself, and then my friends were doing the healing. But only afterwards I realized, some click of a moment, realized, when did it actually start? When did I have this pain? Like, was it there before I was in the hospital waiting for my family member, or was it even afterwards or before? Like, and actually it started on the day two when I was in the hospital ward sitting and waiting for the person to recover and come back, like, and until that moment, the pain didn't go. And once I acknowledged it, I don't even know exactly when, but after a month, I was like not limping, walking properly. And then I checked with my body, the pain was gone. That is how, like, these emotions can sit within our body. We need to talk to it and open that, the trauma or the grief that is sitting with us. Like, of course, sometimes some work can be done on yourself by yourself. And sometimes you might need a therapist or a counselor or a good friend, but whatever it is, go seek for it. That's the most important thing. Don't suffer in silence. That's the worst thing, when we don't tell and we are just acting normal, because that's another limiting belief we were told uh, by our mothers mostly. Don't tell your pains, don't tell your secrets, don't share anything. Keep it to yourself. That's the worst advice I think most of us received, right? If you agree with me, give a heart or something. I can know that we are all in this together. And when I started working on this whole awakening, when I started sharing my stories, I realized, like, am I doing this right, or am I being still conditioned by my mother who said not to share anything, right? So this will be interesting thoughts as well. So this is again our limiting beliefs that have made be present. So come out of it and you will feel more lighter. Definitely you'll feel that weight lifted. It's like a baggage of extra weight that we carry on our shoulders, and you'll feel like shift happening. Yes, Carol, you were told as well. Yay. No matter where we grow, I think we all had the similar kind of a society damage, isn't it? Yeah, now we are shifting it up. Yeah. But when I look back, like, so much didn't happen before in our grandparents' generation, is what I was noticing, or even previous to it, because their focus was mostly on go, fetch food, more on the survival things, but later on it became more on the emotional things, not on the physical aspects of it. And now that's the reason we are all more on the mental health issues, or more towards inclined into go downward slope. Yeah. And before there were a lot of communities, like, my grandparents, they grew up in a communities, so they would be in the evening, they would be chatting with their neighbors and healthy conversations and everything. But later on, everyone moving to be more commercial side, industrialization, all that shifted, and everyone was becoming more of a silo away from the extended families. And this is where again we were struggling. So as our parents were struggling as well, like, yeah, proving inner strength. Yes, that's great. And one thing is, like, when something comes up from our limiting beliefs on these emotions, the best part is to acknowledge, work on them, recognize where it is coming from, but don't blame them. Don't blame anyone for it, because we were consumed for it. Now that we are adults, we have a choice to follow it or not to follow it. No one is holding us, no one is prisoning us now, but we are present in our own minds. So there is no value in blaming our parents or the teachers for conditioning it this way. Now you've got to pull yourself out and be awakened by it and recognize these things and work towards it. And then you feel like, hey, this is a new life, new beginning, new chance, or you're getting a new chapter to write by your own terms and conditions, which is giving you the strength. And one thing, when you do that, of course, a lot of people are going to not resonate with you, they're going to leave you. And the beautiful gift of it, the way you can see it, is you are shredding all the extra baggages, and you're going to have only the right people in your life who are going to value you. And that is the soul tribe, the tribe connection that you're going to have. When we stop blaming, when we take the responsibility for ourselves, we are totally in with ourselves. Yeah. And that's the best gift that you can give to yourself, even. And what are the things that, when we have those challenging things, how are we even working towards it? Like, a simple thing is that when I'm not in a good state, immediately having at least 5 things around me that I want to do or change it before it becomes an hour to a day, or day into 10 days. Like, before that, I need to have some tools around it. First thing that I turn it into is when I have these negative thoughts, negative emotions that are taking me downwards. Immediately, I think about like turning into my journal, writing those, acknowledging them, or talking to a friend. That doesn't work. Then going on to meditation, or doing self healing, or turning towards into the art that I do, the creativeness that I do. And even if that doesn't work, I know the last and the final thing that always works for me is I ask my husband to take me for a drive around the nature, around the mountains or the valleys, like, and even that 30 minutes of a ride changes everything for me. I'm not into hiking, so for me, it's going for a drive is the pleasant thing by the sea or by the forest, or anywhere that's closer to the nature is what shifts me. At the time, I definitely am not for the shopping or anything, but it's the nature that heals us, like, having that. And that's something that I told, I think 6 7 years ago, to my husband. Anytime you see me sad, please take me or push me to go for a drive, and that definitely will help me, because I had to recognize what are my set of things that I will be trying and where I need my support as well. So I kept that option as my last one, when I tried the other ones, it's not going to work. I really needed something else to be pushed to do it. It's not that our loved ones don't recognize that we're not happy, but also they are helpless of what might help us, like, what can shift or change the thought for us. It's not about saying, hey, don't be negative or don't think negative, but it's about like, how can I change it, or what can I do to them to change it for them? Like, that's the most important thing. And if I see my husband like that, for him, it's about like going for a short walk or sitting down and talking it through. That's enough for him, like, and so recognizing what is our soft place, how we are going to come out of it. So have those couple of things handy for you guys, and see which one is going to work and which is your last resort, and how you're going to have it. And that way you're going to keep your soul tribe closer to your reach, like on a speed dial, like, and that's going to help as well. And seeking support, don't be, again, like, be afraid, even because you are doing the work for yourself, then you're not afraid to tell to your people who understand it that you need some support here. You're changing, even with the addictions, right? You have a support, you have a recovery process. And this is, again, no different with our negative chatter box that we have, because we have been living with it for a long time. So you definitely need those speed dial people who can help you and take you out of that place. Yeah. Nature heals us faster than anything. The reason is because nature doesn't give us ideas. Nature doesn't disregard our thoughts. It accepts where what we are going through, and that definitely helps it, like, and definitely that's where, like, when you anchor to the nature, it's just absorbing everything and then giving you the peace. And from that peaceful, calm state of mind is like that whole glitter settling in, then you will feel like a new idea coming, a new energy coming in. Yeah. Just going into the comments here, Ellie, I overthink way too much. Any tips for helping? Overthinking, we are all in that. Like, overthinking is generally coming in from the worry state, or something about the future. Future that hasn't happened, like, or may not even happen about it. This is where we are always overthinking about it. And I think the last year is the best example for it. No matter what, how we planned, nothing has happened. And we all had to have the plan B, plan C, and everything, like, and rechange ourselves. So asking yourself, I think I'll be repeating myself, saying, write it down, because we think we are overthinking, but when you write it down, trust me, there is no more than 5 points that you'll be having to write, and the rest are even not worth it. Like, you're just filling up the paper just to fill it in, but these are the 5 things that you have to work or make an action, and that way helps. And I still use that technique when I'm feeling overwhelmed, or I'm feeling like I have no control on my thoughts, or I don't know how to stop myself. These are the ways that I'm turning up to in the journal, write it down, like, and then I realized there is only 3. Like, why was I spending so many sleepless nights, or why was I overthinking about like these 3 things? And again, thinking about, like, tomorrow you got a plan to have an outdoor picnic, and you see the weather forecast to be raining and having storms, and what do then? Like, you're worrying about it, but does it help? When you write it down, then you see where it is coming, where you're putting your energy, and then you're making a backup plan. Do you need a marquee? Do you need to push the party into your garage, or do you need to push the party to some other day, like, in the safety of everyone? So you're actually taking a actionable plan for your overthinking, and then you feel like, okay, I got a little bit of a plan here. This is it. Like, what I can do, I did. That's it. There is nothing else I can do. And that way of training, you are going to reduce your overthinking. And that's the most important thing. And definitely sometimes the news triggers us. It's not a context of the news, it's the voice of the news, the music they play in the news, that's the worst as well. That you feel anxious, your heartbeat, sleepless nights that are causing in the repeat of the stuff they do. It's definitely that voices the anchors use sometimes, and also the music they play. I feel like, oh, it's like triggering deep down, because that is how they want us to be glued into it, and that is how they want us to be thinking about something, worrying about, rather than making us any other workable things. Yeah. And so when you write these things down, you're noticing where your patterns are usually as well, about the futures. And again, some things that you have control, you're going to do it, and things that you're not in control, release. As simple as that. When I say release, the best way I found is to imagine that thought or a worry into a football and kick in your mind. Not in physical way, but kick in your mind like, hey, this is my football. I'm going to kick, and you're going to be making a goal there. So that is a fun exercise. There is actually another fun exercise that I do, especially in the summer times, is if I have a worry or something that I'm not able to shift in my mind, or even with the kids in the schools, as I used to do along is, the bubbles that you use for children. Yeah, blow the bubbles. Every time you're blowing the bubbles, you just think about like, hey, I'm blowing the bubble of me worrying about the party tomorrow. So you're just letting out. What happens is when you're in that cool, shifting state, you're becoming a childlike, you're more joyful, you're more fun, and you're just releasing it. Yeah, so which is amazing, amazing thing to do. Give it a try. Give it a try, guys. Like, borrow your children's or get it in the Dollar Tree and treat yourself and try it out, and you'll so love it. Yeah, it's so fun. And what happens is you're actually pausing your chitter chatter, the thoughts, and you're bringing a new shift and a new energy, which is again like totally worth it. Yeah. When I'm angry, I do a release exercise. I write about it and burn it, and I feel so empowered. I immediately start vibrating at a higher level. That is amazing, Nadia. That is the most amazing thing. Yeah. And yes, burn it, you can do it, or some if it's not safe, if you guys live in an apartment, you can't do it, you can shred it in a shredder, or you can even like type it up, not save the document. It's out of you. That's the most important thing. Yeah. Let that thoughts go out of your system. That's the most important thing. Raising our vibrations. That's the most important thing, Nadia. Like finding the ways. I think I might do another talk on raising your vibrations, but raising our vibrations is so important. As you all notice that negative thoughts, when we said how our body was feeling, we need to shift in, like, and effortlessly. That's the most important thing. Yeah. And with that, what we generally do is that I noticed in my past is I might be overeating, or I might be spending money in the things that I don't need it, like, getting more addicted to just being on the shopping as well. So that is other thing that you would be noticing when our thoughts are not settled, how we shift ourselves. Yeah. Thank you so much, Ellie. Going to bed. Have a good night. Have a peaceful, restful night. Yeah. And so when these thoughts are there, so think about how do you change? What are the things that you have to raise your vibration? Something could be like, having that positive affirmations, or a beautiful picture of you when you were having a joyful moment in life to be in front of you, a happy memory to cherish by. Flowers in the home are great as well to shift and generate a new energy, new vibe. A good painting which has a soulful meaning into your heart will be good. And having a stack of books that are inspirational for you, like, that are not maybe too deep, because when we go through that, you don't want a deep books, you want something lighter books. So maybe something like that to have them handy will be great as well. Yeah. And for me, I totally believe again, like the mind body connection is, when we feel that having an Epsom salt bath is good, dry brushing tapping technique is good as well to release all that extra energies and then focus onto the thoughts as well. Yeah. And lavender oil is great to calm our anxiety and even the mind as well. So that way you'll have a good control on that cycle or chain of thoughts that we are going into. Like, definitely if it's in the worst spectrum of it, reach out, seek for help as well from a professional person that helps you to give a little break, because when we are on that deep cycle, no matter what you do, we don't feel the impulse to do anything as well. Like, you really don't want to, and we ignore things. But these are the things that we have to do consistently. So you're making a practice of it, and rather than using them only in the rescue times, but actually on a healthy way every day as well. Like, some people do panic about driving their cars and leading into the accident, but has it ever happened in this lifetime? No. Where did you hear about it? Maybe when you were young, you overheard someone's conversation and that stuck to you, and that emotion still plays with you, even though it didn't happen to you in reality. So now, how do you take that off? Just saying to yourself, so far in all these years of my driving, I'm fine and I trust myself. I'm a safe driver. Having these positive affirmations again is so good as well. That reminds you how you can change and put a new perspective into that idea and a thought as well. Like, and just because someone said or you overheard doesn't need not become your reality, and definitely you don't need to make it your own reality. Change it. You can change it as well. Yeah. Other thing I do is to break the chain of the thoughts. Super quick, super easy is tapping. If anyone heard about emotional freedom technique or tapping, this is one of the best things. Like, all I do is just tap. Sometimes I do say the words, sometimes I don't even say the words, but tap on my crown chakra, on my third eye. And now you can do with me as well, on the corner of the eye and the temple of the eye, under the eyes, under the nose, under the lower lip, and on your collarbone, and on your finger pads, each of the finger pads. I can feel my voice is slowing down in the karate chop at the corner. So this tapping technique, even for 5 rounds, when you do it with no words even said, no protocols to be even said, again, shift in how you think, you change as well. As you can see, my energy even changed with my words, and that's the most important thing. Like, to change it. Yeah. And now tapping has been so good as well for me that with my children, I have tried it. When I learned it, I used to see when they were younger, they used to have like differences of opinions or sharing the toys and everything. Rather than saying, don't do this or raising my voice, I wanted to do a different parenting. I said, like, how about I do ask them to show them how to do tapping and ask them to do tapping. And by the round of the fifth one, they were so good. Like, they would go and hug each other, and there is no grounding thing needed for them, or no punishments or anything. Like, we don't need to do that. It's just that energy was built up. Either they were missing themselves being with each other, or they were possessive about something, but that energy cleared up and they were so in a good loving way. Now you're not ignoring it, but you're discharging those energies, because sometimes these energies are not even yours, that you're sitting and thinking about it. You're releasing it. Yeah. The other thing is tapping and comedy shows. Stand-up comedy shows are a good show where it's all about the laughter as well, the silliest cracking jokes. So those are good as well. So remember, when you have to break these negative emotions and the thoughts, it's all about thinking, how do I pause them? The first thing, like, when you pause them, you can implement with new things that are coming on the way, new ideas you can implement. But without pausing, you can't just rub it in all this, because they're only going to go on the surface, not go deeper. So remember to give that little pause and then implement these new ideas. Yeah, comedy show for 30 minutes will change as well. Like, definitely, just like a heartful conversations with your friend over a coffee will change. This is exactly the same, because you're going into it, not into, don't watch drama now. Don't watch anything that will trigger more emotions, because generally the dramas will have all those that's why they are fully dramatic. And I know Bollywood movies have that full on as well. So they may not be the best one in those kind of a scenarios. Something lighter, something that you don't need to engage fully, but it's shifting lighter that afterwards you can forget about it. Like, so something like that is great. But if someone loves reading books, maybe a cartoon book or graphic novels will be great as well. Again, you're only reading for 10 minutes and you're shifting your energies there. Nadia, today I learned about Donna Eden and her energy medicine. I tried an exercise from YouTube that she shared, and it's amazing. That's lovely. Nadia, I think Donna Eden, I'm hearing the name second time from you within 24 hours. I need to check who the person is. Yesterday, a client of mine was mentioning about it. Yeah, I'm just going to check that later. Crystals. My favorite part is the crystals. So, are there any crystal lovers here? Show me the gratitudes there, or say yes, like, So, crystals hold such a beautiful grounding element and a healing vibe as well. So, you can just hold any crystal that you have or a stone that helps you to change what's happening in your head coming into your body. When you come into your body, when you make an alignment from your head to your body, you'll feel more in charge of your thoughts. And then you're able to address your thoughts. That's the most important things. Yeah. And definitely, when we are disconnected, we can't address our thoughts and see where the lines are going in. So bring in alignment to bring yourself back into the body. Crystals are great, just like the nature I was saying, they're all related. So that will help you. Yeah. Any crystal will do. Like, there you don't need to know much about, like, hey, is this good crystal or not a good crystal? Anything will do. And one of the easiest again is breathing. When we are tired or when we are anxious, we breathe from our chest. We are not connected into the body. And again, like, remembering to connect from your body is so important. And come back by your conscious breathing. All you need to do is, 3 to 5 times again, breathe into the belly and breathe out. How about we do that? It just takes less than a minute even. So there are so many of you there. So let's do this exercise. It's going to be fun. So you're shifting your energies, and this will give you a pause that you can implement new ideas as well now. So you can close your eyes or open your eyes. Closing eyes helps us not to be distracted. So whichever you feel, as long as you're not driving, that will be good. So yeah, if you're closing your eyes, just relax into your body. You can sit, stand, sleep, wherever you are. Like, that's totally fine. You don't need to change much. And now breathe into the lower belly. Hold and gently breathe out. Breathe into your lower belly. Hold and breathe out. Let that rhythm be comfortable to your body. You can be slower, deeper, or faster, whichever you are more comfortable. So breathe into your body, into the belly, and breathe out. Breathe in now to the bottom of your legs. Hold and breathe out into your crown. And now when you're breathing your next breath, just visualize the air going in and breathe out. How are you feeling? That was, I said, like less than a minute, only 5 rounds or 6 rounds we did maybe. But that's super easy. Your head won't be racing as much as, and practicing this frequently, you're giving a gap from your thoughts as well. Rather being always on that to do things, you're coming back to your connection to your body of doing nothing just for a minute. Maybe in your calendar, have a reminder every 2 hours or every hour, breathe. And that will help you to connect back to your body. And you'll definitely feel as more oxygen is going into your body, you are relaxing more, and your process is better. Your um, health is getting better over the time, or your anxiety levels have dropped. Eating habits like again your addictions are reducing as well, because you're staying in connection with your body. When you do that, you're listening to your body. When our body talks, it doesn't want the chocolates. It doesn't want the ice cream. It doesn't want the tea or the caffeine we feed in. It's a mind that says, hey, I want this, I want that, or I want that shopping thing. Only then I'll be happy. But actually, your body doesn't need all that. And you're already giving a good nourishment by allowing yourself to listen to it. Yeah. So here again, like you are shifting that overthinking or your worries, giving a break as well. Did you like that conscious breathing? Do you guys do that? Finola, thank you. I have a very stressful job and this will help. And now that's an interesting one. When you say you have a stressful job, um, Finola, think about which part of the job is stressful rather than the whole job. Is it the commute? Is it the people around? Is it the work or the politics related to it? So you're only putting the energy onto the core of how you can change, what are the ideas, and what you can take out and replace with something that you want in your life. So that will be a good one to look into it with the clarity in the mind as well. So yeah, usually we say, hey, I have a stressful relationship, or I have a stressful child who is creating a lot of chaos, um, or the job generally. But it's not the whole aspect of it. It's only a little bit that we need to. It's like, it's a weed that we need to really take it off from the beautiful garden. I mean, like weeds are good as well, but for that particular, some weeds does more damage to our healthy plants. So you're taking it off, yeah. And now pausing gives us that beautiful field where you have a choice to sow flowers or these weeds that are going to destroy the rest of the field as well. So definitely do check that, and you will get some ideas to change in. Nadia, I love that idea. I'll try tomorrow to stop throughout the day and breathe. Definitely, Nadia, you don't need to wait for tomorrow. You can do it today itself, And I do have a meditation on conscious breathing just for 3 minutes and 7 minutes. And you can just use it as your reminder as well. Yeah, Kara, that was perfect. There you go. Yes, I'm in the rush hour train in Tokyo, but doing it even surroundings seem not relaxed. I feel relaxed. Oh, wow, that's great. Yay. I work as a midwife. I practice breath work with teachers such as yourself on Insighttimer, usually before bed or when sitting in meditation. Yay, thank you so much, Eric. I'll check it out. Thank you. Yeah, that's so right. As a midwife, La, like I'm sure you must be telling all those women to breathe and relax. So there you go. Every time you tell them, you can just remind yourself, hey, am I doing this? Let me practice it. And such a beautiful gift to be working as a midwife, isn't it? You're in the process of seeing the new birth, new beginnings. Yeah. Breath work is the one of the things that is getting more popular, more more of awareness as well. Like that is so important. I remember those days when my babies were sleeping. If they wouldn't get up for the feed times, I'll be checking their tummy. Are they breathing or not? It's such a space that it's so important. They were breathing from the belly, but like when I check with myself, I'm breathing from my chest, not from my belly. So again, anchoring back into my belly breath and checking in myself. Where am I? How am I doing? Yeah. So yeah, there is something that I wanted to read from the book. This is a quote by Mahatma Gandhi about the change the thoughts. Your beliefs become your thoughts. Your thoughts become your words. Your words become your actions. Your actions become your habits. Your habits become your values. Your values become your destiny. So, isn't it beautiful? Whatever we are saying, we are feeding in. Remember that experiment that goes around sometimes as a viral on Facebook, where they have the rice grains in 2 jars, or cooked rice, or plants into same things into two places, where they constantly feed positive things and where they constantly feed the negative things, and how beautiful you see the ones that are fed with the positiveness and how rotten the other one becomes, and think about that is how we were fed in our growth. So now we are changing by self treating ourselves and giving those praises to ourselves which we never got in. At least as an adult, you can bring your inner child with you right now, because you have a safe environment, you have a protection, and you can do it rather than leaving your inner child out in the past. And that becomes more fun, joyful. You are more creative as well, creative in terms of creative for looking for opportunities that you feel so good that everything charges you up. um, there is this tip that I shared in the book is never leave yourself in the past. Bring it along with you and work with it like a team. Set it free and move forward with no baggage. You can change your thoughts the way you want. Everything first was a thought. And that is the most important thing, that how we can have those thoughts to be the healthier ones, and change the words and change the thoughts. So it's all about now how we are going to feed ourselves with having that space and having that bigger gap. What are your positive things? It's not about being positive 24/7, but what are your positive places? Like what inspires you? What brings you happiness? Keep them closer to yourself. Keep them handy within your five fingers or in your palm length, that you are always reaching out. In the initial days, it is a little of a commitment, little of a strain, because a new habit is being created. Usually, I hear is 21 days is what makes or breaks a habit. But scientifically, I think it's 66 days. But give it a try for 21 days, how you're going to rate yourself on your positivity level and what is that you're going to see. So, whatever is around you, try to acknowledge three things that are inspiring you, uplifting you. And so that way you are actually, at least for the three things, you are being present in your body in the day, that you are bringing out the best in you. It could be a book, it could be a conversation, it could be a thought, it could be a meal that you had with your friend at workplace, even though with the stressful times we do forget about it, like, or a ride that you got in, like it could be anything. But it's about again acknowledging three positive things that happened, or you are charging up yourself for the positive things. So how do you all feel now? Do you feel you got something out of it, or some things that you can do, or take it back and try and implement maybe? Giving that space is so, so important. Thank you so much, Nadia. I certainly enjoyed the session. Thank you. Thank you for being here. So if you enjoyed this session, I would just ask you guys to support my work here. Maybe you can follow me on Insighttimer and you can check my bio. If something inspires, definitely maybe you can message me as well. There is a circle that I created. It's a small circle where there is so much of a love. It's called Experience Healing with Srimanju. Experience Healing with Srimanju. That is the circle name. You're most welcome to join and share your stories or share your inspirations and share your messages. Definitely a safe space, and I call it a soul tribe. So it's great to have that. And do listen to the meditations that I have up on the Insighttimer. And most welcome if you feel drawn to having the energy exchange or for donation. I much appreciate that. Yeah. So that will be a good one where we exchange our energies. And I think Insighttimer takes some percentage as well. So they're able to hold these platforms where we are all able to connect as well, like, where we get our good vibes from such a beautiful platforms where we need that safe and loving ambience. Yeah. And do check Louise Hay work as well. Like, her work mostly is on YouTube or on the books as well. For the affirmations as a mantras, even like, chanting those mantras. I used to have so many printout of those mantras throughout my places, like on the toilet door, near my makeup, the kitchen, everywhere. I used to have them because I needed to see them surrounded me, because I had to change. I wanted to change, not I had to. I wanted to change and see what's going to happen, having those positive changes. Yeah. And that was really helpful, like, having the sticky notes, reminders through those papers, through the works as well, anything that inspires you. Maybe after a while, I'm a typical Gemini, so I get bored, I need to change them again, like what's happening in my current state, like, so I'll be changing them again. Yeah. So do watch those things that will be inspiring you, bring them, hold it up. And even on my phone, I have like a reminder as you're a beautiful soul, like, and I would change something else. So these are again, like anytime you're owning the phone, I think you're on your phone so many times a day. So it's great reminder to see a positive quote coming up, right? And that will be again a gentle reminder. And the best thing is we all can change our negative emotions. Once we recognize them, we don't need to be prisoned by it. And you're going to set yourself free, which is going to give you a new life, new thought, and so much towards your dreams and the goals. So now think about it. When we change all that, how you're going to place it into your dreams as well. Yeah, that's the most important thing. All that energy, all that hard work, you're going to put it in your dreams. Yeah. So thank you guys so much. Is there anything else you guys would like to share? And it's so important that you are taking this time for yourself. Arigato. Oh yeah, I heard about it from Mind Valley. It's a thank you, isn't it, Erico? Yeah, there was a book I ordered to read about it. Yeah, it's like when you pay something, you say arigato and you're happy about giving that. Yeah, and you get it back as well. Ma, thank you for sharing your knowledge with us, dear. Thank you so much, Irma, for being here. So lovely to have so many of you from different parts of the world. I'm so fortunate to meet you all virtually. Like, it's amazing, amazing, amazing. I love this platform. Yeah. It delights me. Like I used to always say, even before the Zoom world, like, how we are fortunate to be connected and how we are all having this telepathy, being at the right place, right time with the right people as well. Like, yeah, that's definitely shows us we are raising our vibrations to be on a different level of altogether knowingness. Yeah. So thank you guys so much. Yes, much appreciated for your donations and for your support, for your love. Yeah, we'll catch you up maybe on the circle. Experience healing with Srimanju is a circle name. If not, there is another topic tomorrow that I'm going to come up with. Actually, tomorrow I need to check what time I'm on Insight Timer. Tomorrow at 10:30 PST time. So going to be on the Insight Timer tomorrow morning. It's about the Akashic Records and what are our karmic lessons and how we can shift our karmic lessons through the Akashic Records. Yeah. Now we all know we have so many karmic lessons and the soul contracts we are here for, but we don't need to be working towards it all our life. When we know we have a realization, we can shift in, but need to know where they're coming from. So that's going to be a deeper topic, and also meditation as well. So if you're drawn to it, please do join me, join the community, and the group work, group energy is so good. I totally believe in the group collaborations, and we just are changing because each one of us are taking away some gifts and spreading it around with our own community. Again, like those people are spreading it. It's like a huge network that we are creating, yeah, around the globe, which is amazing. So thank you so much. Even like Erico, when you tried doing the meditation, you not only changed yourself, your energy, but also in your transport, you changed the other people's energy if they were noticing you, or yeah, around that. That's how energy works. Like you're spreading your positivity, being where you are. So thank you so much, guys, for your love and support, and all the best, and lots of love and good wishes your way. And let's catch up tomorrow then, or any other topic. Actually, I'm doing something interesting on Saturday morning. Is the creativity healing through art. It's a creative activity with the colors and going into our inner soul. Conversation. So in case you're drawn to another fun one, that will be a good one too. Yeah. So thank you guys so much and take care and have a blessed day. Thank you, Carol. Namaste. Bye.